until this very moment, I guess if that was where you were at, and I'm not saying you were because you wouldn't be here right now if that was the case. But the reality is that then there was no excuse. Now you have a choice. You can choose to, A, go the way you've always gone and gotten the same results you've always gotten, or B, change your approach a bit and look at what you're currently doing, maybe modify it, and build on your strengths, minimizing maybe some of your weaknesses. Because obviously you're doing so many things already right, but knowing specifically what those things are, and then building on those strengths of yours will take you to a whole new level. The bottom line is this. It's going to be easy to get you from where you're at to where you're going. Why? Because you're already doing so many things right. As Dave Anderson says oftentimes, how do you go if you want to be a 10? If you hire 2s, you double their effectiveness, they're still 4s. Okay, so obviously we're already doing a lot of the things that a 10 would do. So getting to the next level will be easier for you than most dealers. Does that make sense? Otherwise you wouldn't have invested your time for the whole week of being here. The reality is this here. If you're selling 100 cars, let's just say 100 cars, what you're doing average. You can see some simple math here. Obviously, if you've got about let's just say at a 20% clip, I'm being really conservative here, you're getting 500 ups in to close 100 deals. That means there's 400 opportunities that didn't buy. They didn't buy for what we talked about earlier. There's many reasons why. I want to review all that. We're under time constraints here. So again, of those 400, if you're just being a C student, I'm just being average, you should be able to get how many appointments? 80. 80 appointments of the 400 people that didn't buy. People that said, okay, I'll come back. We got flexible in down payment, monthly payment, car, truck, SUV. They found a cosigner. Something changed. We're saying we can get 80 to come in, and guess what? No managers are actually confirming for you. Again, you're just, average. So that means that half are going to show up as 40, and a 36% close rate brings how many to the bottom line? 14. That's if you're just doing 100 cars a month. If you're doing 200 cars, double it. Again, I could double my ad budget when I pick up an extra 14 deals a month. Maybe. I will have just a huge number right here at the end of the month that didn't buy. It's bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The bottom line is this. Phone ups. That same store does 100 cars a month. Rule of thumb, NADA says 2.5 times sales equals the average number of phone calls that are coming in. So if you're getting 100 deals a month, you're probably getting 250, come on pointer, 250 opportunities to swing the bat on the phone. If you're doing what average people do, 2 or 3%, that's about 9 deals. If you're doing 10%, the difference is 17 more deals. I spoke last year at NADA, I said, stop the bleeding. Turning customer dials into what? Dealership dollars. That's the bottom line. And I'm saying if you can pick up 17 more deals, if you're just doing 100 cars based on a rule of thumb, averages, that's a lot of cars, guys. In the third line of business here, I call it owner base. 62% rule says that 62% of our customer base that we sell this month will have a member of the family, not someone they know, someone they live with, that's going to buy a car in the next 6 months. If we can get 10% of those, that's just 6 more deals. Now, I'm no mathematician wizard here, but 14, 17, and 6 is how much? How many? 38% improvement. How much did it cost to sell these cars? How much did it cost? The price of a phone call and some training. How about this group here? Same. How about this group here? Free. Bottom line is this. I didn't extinguish any more money, but yet I've improved my business. Again, a little plus a little plus a little equals what, guys? A lot. The whole purpose of this whole thing is to expose the process. This is the stuff that's kind of rolling off the table that we're not even really paying attention to. Because we got so many things. Inventory control, contracts in transit, banking relationships, working out our advertising dollars, our budgets, tracking that stuff. Where does the training go? Where does that all go? In these processes, it goes in the back corner. And we don't think about it. This is powerful. So at storage, you can add at $2,000 per copy at 100 cars a month. That's a $76,000 swing to where? The bottom line. Again, times 12 months, that's about $914 grand. Shoot holes in that puppy right now. You can't. Well, yeah, but I'm doing this already. All right, cut it in half. Cut it in half. Again, the reality is it's going to get better. As long as you're paying attention to it, what's going to happen? It's going to get better. All right, you can see, again, I'm not going to have time to go through different processes, but I believe this here. This is just like a 12-step process to the incoming, to the actual road to the sale. We have a 12-step process for handling phone ups as well. Whether it be a new car, used car, advertised call, it doesn't matter. There's a process. If you can, it's in the book there for you for your review. If you follow your nose, and again, the bottom line is this: there's a million call guides out there. The reality is this: if I can teach your people can understand it's all about the people, and they can have a process of establishing a relationship between themselves and the customer through some rapport. And by the way, on an incoming phone call, people will judge you in 10 seconds. Did you understand what I just said? In 10 seconds, the customer's going to say, I like you or I don't like you. It's not a conscious thought. It's a feeling they have. But they say, I don't like this guy, or, he seems like a pretty nice person. So again, it's all part of the process. You can see the 12-step process. Also, how about for handling those leads? You buy all those leads? Here's a great call guide you can follow. It's simple. It's a very systematic approach. And guess what? On those special finance opportunities, this works like a champ 80% of the time. And you're going to have objections that pop up. Like Doug had said earlier today. Again, here's some objections. I've been to the dealership before. What do you say? I'm only looking for a specific vehicle. I don't have a ride. That's too far for me to drive. There's about 12 objections that could possibly come up. What's my interest rate? There's only 12 about, okay? The reality is if you train your people with the right process to bypass and get the appointment, what's going to happen? And what's the difference between when people have an objection? I don't really consider it an objection. All it really is what? It's a concern. They're just concerned. The guy's been at 4 of the dealerships in the past and has got a concern. So if we handle it like an objection, we're going to make more out of it than it really is. But the reality is this: if we're trained instinctually through coaching and conditioning, then we can come back, like Doug had said it earlier today, within a minimum of 2 seconds with a response to bypass the concern and get back onto what? The appointment. That's the bottom line. People are buying people, and if we can sell ourselves through some rapport technology, which we don't have time to go through and all that right now, but the reality is this: if we can sell ourselves and they buy us, they'll give us the opportunity to come in and actually work with us. Okay. And the reality, too, is this: how do we coach? Are we a cop? And is coaching as a coach or a cop, how do we do it? Is there a difference in how we get this message across? Well, according to Don Shula, which I think we all know who that is, right? He says this: a coach has character. And what is character? You can see. It says here that he doesn't compromise performance for integrity and character. What will you do with the veteran that bucks your system? He knows it all. Compromise. Do we compromise that person? Do we make exceptions? Again, it's all part of the process. So again, it goes back to overlearning. It's not in the book. It should say overlearn. There's a typo there. But it should say overlearn. Again, how do you overlearn? Practice, drill, rehearse. Repetition is the mother of all skill. And the reality is this: if we don't practice, drill, and rehearse intelligently every day, we'll just, again, go through the dance again. So overlearning, again, audible ready. The coach needs to be able to change the play whenever he wants. And the people need to understand how to change it with that. That's what a coach is. And also, he's got to be consistent and also honest. And again, I think that if we look at how we train, you can see down below here, it says a cop. He tells people what to do, expect it done right with little or no training. We know those people. I've worked for those people in the past. A coach, you can see here, again, what does he do? He's gone. I don't know what I pushed, but yeah. What happened there? There we go. I got it. Again, it goes back to a coach. He shows people what they want done and how to do it. A coach will also show people through training and coaching how to form good work habits. A coach will also show people how to set and reach their goals through working smart. Again, I think a cop will create a follower. A coach will empower a leader. There's a difference there. You see that? The bottom line is this, I think. If you go back to it and sum it all up, based on where we're at right now, is understanding where you're at today. Realize that there's opportunity to get better. Whether you come with us or find someone else, the reality is this. Find a company that you can partner with. Not a vendor. Hear the difference. Partner with. Truly commits to work with you to help you build your business. Who's got a track record that can really show you the way. Follow it. And the bottom line is, we don't have time to go through it, but realize that when you go through change, it's like called the J curve. And realize the J curve is simply this. If you're over here, usually you go down before you go up. Just making sense. In a J, you're here. And usually when you make a change, you dip before you go up. And the reality is this. When you come back from NADA or you come back from this whole week here, usually you'll try something. And usually your numbers may drop a little bit before they get up. Why? Because our old habits are what we're used to doing. We're conditioned to do certain things. The reality is this. You can alleviate the drop. We've been through the J. Who's been through the J? Who's actually started a program? The numbers went down. And usually when they go down, the dealer, he goes down here, maybe he starts seeing a dip. And what he'll do is he'll freak out and he'll run back to what he's comfortable to. He tries something different. Now listen, you're in a 20 group, right? And you hear great ideas all the time. And you got a buddy of yours in a 20 group, he goes, man, we're knocking the cover off the ball with this process. Give it a try. So you go back and you try it. And you totally fall on your face. But your buddy's been doing it for 5 years. And you're trying to get the same result your buddy's getting the first month. It's like that deal we talked about earlier. If I play catch, here it comes. If I play catch with you, it took you a while to master the catch. The reality is this, that my son took it on the nose plenty of times playing catch. The reality is this, he's still not catching it perfectly every time, and I'm not catching it perfectly every time. As a matter of fact, when Brett Favre threw the ball last night to his wide receiver, it touched his hands. He didn't catch it right last night. The point of the matter is that it's going through the right process. And the better company that you work with, you'll limit yourself from going down. We can kind of cut this off and do a kind of like quantum leap. I'm not saying you're going to go totally like to the top right here. You're actually going to go down maybe like this. Again, success leaves clues. Remember, process before people. 1 + 1 is 2. But getting the change whole portion of it to take place is tough. In other words, you've got to build a case publicly for change. If you just go back and go, hey guys, we're putting a BDC in. Hey guys, we're doing this new process. Hey guys, guess what we're going to do? And you're going to force feed it, you're going to get pushback. And you know what kills every program in the dealership? Middle management. Middle management will kill every program in your dealership. Promise. As a dealer, you've done your research, you got all your T's crossed, your I's dotted, you feel great about the program, you come back and you don't present it this way. This takes a little longer to present this way, but you say, we're doing it. And you got pushback, subconscious pushback. Okay, not even really conscious, but subconscious pushback because they didn't feel like they were part of the solution. And so you're kind of browbeating these people to do it. And while you're browbeating, the dip is deep.
There's millions of dollars every year
at stake.
that is absolutely sacrificed, wasted, shredded, not even attempted by middle management.
That's right.
The dealer is excited, fired up, happy. He goes in there, he tells the entire team, we're going to do this.
Yes.
And we're going to do this now. You guys don't have a choice. The bottom line is they have a lot of choices because the minute the dealer turns around and goes and runs his enterprise because he's not as active as he needs to be in his dealership because he's busy, he's got a big family, he's got issues, tissues, doesn't want to, whatever the result, whatever the reason it's not being done,
right.
He relies on who? His GSM.
Yes.
His top tower manager. The salespeople, they're just ready to do it. Ready to do whatever that's going to avoid a lot of pain. Because if the dealer tells them, I want to do it, and they don't do it, they get fired. So now they're confused. The dealer says do it, but the manager says don't, or I'm not as committed to it. So what they end up doing is finding out who's watching. And they look around, and they find that the dealer's not there. Gone, right? So now who are they going to listen to? The middle manager. And that's why Ken says whenever you start a new process, not only that you have to tell them this is what we're going to do and we're very committed to, but you're actually going to have to become a promoter.
That's it.
Somebody that advertises that process, but more importantly, enforce the fact that it's extremely important. Now, is that fair? Is that fair to you as a dealer? After all, you're spending your money, your time, you're laying your neck on the line. It's not fair.
It doesn't matter if it's fair. It's reality. That's the bottom line. It's reality. And so we have to understand the decision-making process of a team. That's why this page here, you'll look in the book, if you follow this, when you do these processes, save yourself a ton of heartache.